Session is placed. The Honorable Judge Murphy presiding. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. All right, we are here today to resume the trial of State of Connecticut versus Jose Morales. I'll ask counsel to please place your appearances on the record.
Morning, Your Honor. Supervisory Assistant State's Attorney Howard Stein.
Morning, Your Honor. Mark Durso, Senior Assistant State's Attorney.
Good morning, Your Honor. Edward Gavin from Mr. Morales, who's seated to my left.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Before I bring the jury in this morning, are there any preliminary matters to be heard by the court?
No, Your
After
Honor.
the state, Your Honor.
You're all set? Okay. So, Madam Clerk, please bring in our jury. Good morning. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We are ready to proceed. Counsel, please stipulate to the return of our jurors here this morning.
Stipulate to the presence of the jury, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. So with that, would the state please call its next witness to the stand?
Jacqueline Tracer, please.
No. Thank you. Please remain standing. Madam Clerk will put you under oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, and state your business address for the record, please.
It's Jacqueline Tracer, Troesser, and it's 65 Main Street, Ansonia, Connecticut.
Okay, thank you.
You may be seated. Thank you.
Good morning, Officer Tracer. How are you?
Good, thank you.
First of all, a couple things. That microphone in front of you does an awful job amplifying, so if you can kind of pull yourself up and get your voice into that mic so we can all hear you. Very good. So, can you tell us who are you employed by?
The City of Ansonia,
And in what capacity?
a patrol officer.
And again, your voice really,
Sorry, a patrol officer.
thank you. How long have you been a member of the Ansonia Police Department?
17 years.
And can you tell us a little bit about your background, your training and experience?
I was hired in 2008, where I completed the Milford Police Academy after 6 months. I still remain as a patrol officer now. I'm a field training officer, which provides me ability to train the new officers coming in. I'm on the bike patrol, and I am also certified to dispatch.
Okay, let's talk about that last thing that you told us about. Tell us what goes into your ability to be a certified dispatcher.
You have to be trained and certified on the 911 system. You have to be certified in Collect, which is the state system.
And do you hold those certifications?
Yes.
Can you tell me, I want to call your attention generally to December of 2019. Were you employed by the Ansonia Police Department on that date?
Yes.
Or in that time frame, I'm sorry. I now want to specifically bring you to December the 1st of 2019. Do you recall, were you working for the City of Ansonia Police Department on December 1 of 2019?
Yes.
In what capacity?
I was dispatching that evening.
Okay. So let's start first by acclimating ourselves to days of the week. Was December 1st of 2019, was that a Saturday?
I started at 11 p.m. Saturday night.
Okay. And did your shift go over into the early morning hours of Sunday? I'm sorry. Do I have the dates right? 12/1. Right. So I'm sorry. What time did you start working?
11 p.m.
And what was the date that you started to work? Would it have been November the 30th?
Yes.
Okay. So that was Saturday, November the 30th.
Correct.
Okay. At 11 p.m.
Yes.
And that your shift goes over through the midnight hours and it becomes Sunday now, December 1.
Correct.
And were you working the Ansonia 911 dispatch center during your shift?
Yes.
Were you working with anyone else besides yourself?
Myself.
Does on occasion, will other members of the Ansonia Police Department during the course of a shift come into the dispatch center?
Yes, they do.
So it's not unusual for somebody else to be in there with you.
Yes, they can come in.
So I want to call your attention to now Sunday morning, so approximately 3 hours into your shift, just before 2 a.m. in the morning. Do you recall getting a 911 call?
Yes.
Now let's stop there for a second and explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury when a police department, are they called like a PSAP center? When a police department receives a 911 phone call, what does that do on your end of the call?
It's a different type of ring than the landline.
Okay.
And it's a different system, different phone.
All right. Is there any computers attached to it?
Yes.
And do you receive any information with regard to anything pertaining to the call?
Yes, you can see a phone number. You can see a location of where the phone is, depending on what type of phone it is. If it's a landline, it will come back to the address. Sometimes cellular phones will come in an area of it, or it comes back to a cell tower.
Okay. Now, with regard to this particular 911 call that you received shortly before 2 a.m. on December the 1st, did it show up as a landline call?
No, it did not.
Did it show up as a cellular call?
Yes.
Did it come back and give you a precise location of where the phone was originating from?
It came back to a cell tower.
Okay. And do you recall where the cell tower was?
South Cliff Street in Ansonia.
All right. And when you, did you answer the 911 phone call?
Yes, I did.
And when you answered the 911 phone call, can you just generally describe in your own words the course of what you heard?
I answered by saying Ansonia 911. There was a male voice on the other line that stated 3 different times Myrtle Ave. During that time, I tried to obtain an address or location on Myrtle Ave by asking, what's the house number? What is your location on Myrtle Ave? I also, during that phone call, after that, the male voice kind of stopped, and then I heard a female voice in the background that stated something as, hang up, stop, who are you talking to? And then after that, I continued to say hello a few times, but I also listened in the background to hear the male and female talking quietly in the background, and I listened to that for a period of time before the phone call was disconnected on the other end.
Do you know what the total length of the phone call was?
1 minute and 14 seconds.
During the time that you were listening, after the initial male voice where you could hear the male and female just quietly talking in the background, did you hear anything else occurring?
No.
Did you hear any signs of screaming or yelling?
No.
Did you hear any signs of fighting or anything breaking?
No.
Did Did you hear any voices screaming, "Hey, get out of my house," or anything along those lines?
No.
Did you hear anything that sounded like physical violence in any way?
No.
Are you aware, first of all, going back for a second, the male voice that said, I think you said Myrtle Ave 3 times, did you make any observations with regard to the voice?
The male's voice was slurred a little.
All
Yes.
right. And would you have any basis and knowledge of to why that voice is slurring?
There's many different reasons that it could be slurring.
Can you just give us a few of them?
It could be a medical issue such as a stroke, diabetes. It could be the person just woke up and is groggy. It could be a speech impairment. It could be intoxication. There's many different reasons.
So are you sitting there and assessing the quality of the person's voice, or are you trying to ascertain what assistance they need?
I'm trying to obtain what assistance they need.
Now, with regard to these 911 calls, does the city of Ansonia record these calls when they come into the dispatch center?
Yes, they do.
Prior to coming into court today, did you have an opportunity to listen to any 911 calls?
Yes, I did.
And did you listen to the 911 call, which is the subject of what we're discussing here now?
Yes, I did.
And when you listened to it, did it sound to be a fair and accurate representation of the 911 call which you remembered participating in on December 1 of 2019?
Yes.
And I'll offer this at this point, Your Honor.
Okay, Attorney Gavin.
Are you aware whether the Ansonia Police Department sent this disc out to enhance the audio quality of the call?
Yes.
And is this the enhanced copy that you listened to?
I believe so.
Your Honor, I've listened to the disc. I have no objection to the introduction of the enhanced 911 call.
Okay, so do we have a stipulation that it's an enhanced version, counsel?
Yes.
All right, and what is the exhibit number?
It's Exhibit 162, Your Honor.
All right, so court will accept into evidence as full 162. Thank you.
So just play the first one for me. Yeah, we'll go through. When the call ended, did you terminate the call?
No.
Did the call that called you, were they the parties that terminated the call?
Yes.
Now, with regard to when you received that call, can you tell me what steps, if any, you took after receiving that phone call?
I tried to call the number back.
Okay. And how is it that you were able to call the number back?
It's on the caller ID on the 911 line.
So the number that was calling you was being displayed on the screen?
Yes,
Okay. And did you call that number back?
I did.
And again, is that something, did you listen to a series of further calls from you this morning? Did you hear that prior to coming into court today?
Yes, I did.
And are they all fair and accurate representations?
Yes, they are.
So would it be fair to say that you made a call at 1:54 and 3 seconds would be your first attempt to call back?
Yes.
Can you play that for me, please?
Showing power at the Golf Club Tower. Almost remembered. Yeah, so what is it?
So, in that clip, Officer Tracer, first of all, we heard a set of dialing. There was 2 rings. Then the call terminated, and the second dialing in that clip. Can you explain that for us, please?
The first one, I believe I dialed the wrong number, so I hung it up, and then I called the correct number back.
So at 1:54 in the morning, you called somebody else's phone totally unconnected to this?
Possibly.
And when you realized that, did you terminate the call and call back the number that you had on your screen?
Yes.
And is that the complete dialing that we heard go to voicemail?
Yes.
Now, after making that first attempt, did you make any additional attempts?
Yes.
When did you make an additional attempt?
I believe a minute after the first call.
So at 1:55 and 58 seconds, did you initiate another attempt to call back the 911 caller?
Yes.
Can you play that for me, please? Did you terminate that call at that point?
Yes.
So now after reaching the voicemail for the second time, you terminated the call?
Yes.
Now, after that second call was made, did you take any additional steps?
Yes.
What did you do?
I dispatched Officer Clifford to Myrtle Ave to check the area.
And when you say dispatch, Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what are you talking about when you dispatched an officer?
I radio over the air to the officer by usually their badge number, and I give them the information that I had, which was I had a male that stayed at Myrtle Ave, and that it was a 911 hang-up, and if he could check the area.
Okay. Is that standard procedure for 911 hang-up calls?
Yes.
And showing you what's been marked as States 163 is a full exhibit, I believe.
No objection.
163 is a full exhibit. Can you tell me, Officer Tracer, whether you recognize generally what this document is? And you have a screen in front of you as well. If
It's not on.
is there a button, an on button there?
All right. While you're doing that, Counsel, Attorney Gavin, you had no objection to 162. I just have to accept those exhibits into the record, on the record.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. So court will go ahead and accept 162 and 163 as full exhibits. Thank you.
The disc is 162. The DVD disc is 162. Disc is 162. Is your monitor on now?
Yes.
Okay. So do you generally recognize what this is?
Yes.
What do you recognize it to be?
They're called CAD cards. We punch a card for every call that we receive.
All right, and so, first of all, can you tell, does this appear to be the call which you have been testifying about?
Yes.
And it says location, I see Myrtle Ave. What do the 5 zeros mean?
It just means the street.
Okay. Well, if you had a house number, would there be a house number there?
Yes.
So why then the 5 zeros?
Because I didn't have a house number.
So all you had was a street named Myrtle Ave?
Yes.
And other than that, it's showing that it was December 1st of 2019. And we have some information down here at the bottom. Is this what the radio car is receiving? Male caller stated Myrtle Ave before hanging up on the 911 line, and no answer on callback. Officer reports area check clear. Is that a summary of the event?
Yes.
So now I see a box here that says dispatch. Is that December 1 of 2019 at 1:59 a.m.?
Yes.
Now, you testified that the second 911 call, or the second attempt for you to make the call was at 1:55 and 58 seconds. So is it fair to say that within a minute or two after terminating that second call, you dispatched a car to the area?
Yes.
And after you dispatched the car to the area, did you take any further steps yourself?
Yes.
And what did you do?
I called back the number that called into 911 again.
So you're now making a third attempt at calling the number back?
Yes.
So now, does this appear to be you placing the call on December 1st of 2019 at 2:03 and 41 seconds?
Yes.
message for.
Who terminated that call?
I did.
Because you reached voicemail once again?
Yes.
I'm showing you what has previously been marked as stage 161 as a full exhibit. A report prepared by an FBI agent that is a full exhibit in this case. Can you tell me, do you see with my yellow pointer here on the bottom of the call out box on the right side of this exhibit, page 18 of this exhibit, the date December 1st of 2019?
Yes.
And just below it, there are a series of numbers, 203-735-1885. Do you recognize that telephone number?
Yes.
What telephone number do you recognize that to be?
The Ansonia Police Department.
So, does this record appear to correspond with, at 1:54 and 33 seconds, this phone seems to be receiving an incoming voice call from the Ansonia Police Department?
Yes.
And again, at 1:55:21, another incoming voice message received from the Ansonia Police Department.
Yes.
And again, at approximately 1:56, another incoming voice message being recorded from the Ansonia Police Department.
Yes.
Back on states 163, you indicated earlier that you dispatched a radio car at 1:59, and can you tell us what this next column, what this means?
Is that the officer en route to the call?
So the officer's acknowledgement that he has the assignment and is en route to the call?
Yes.
And can you tell me what the next column means?
When the officer arrived in the area.
So the officer acknowledged the call and arrived in the general area within the same minute?
Yes.
And what's this last column referred to?
It means that he cleared the call, that he's no longer on the call.
So it took him about 2 minutes to clear the call.
Yes.
Thank you, Officer Tracer. I have nothing further.
Okay, Attorney Gavin, any cross?
Good morning, Officer Tracer.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. Thanks for being here. Just tell me, what did you do this morning in review in preparation of your testimony?
I listened to the 911 call in the 3 times that I tried to call back.
Okay. So you listened to it, and did you review the call log report that we just saw?
Yes.
Okay, great. You go to work on Saturday, November 30th, and you're working the 11 to 7 shift. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. So the first call, which was the 911 call that came in to you, looked like it was about 1:52 in the morning. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right? And that call was 1 minute and 14 seconds.
Correct.
Okay, and do you know the phone number that that call came in from?
Not offhand.
Okay. As part of this investigation that continued, did you learn that that was Jose Morales' cell phone?
Later on, yes.
Okay, great. So at the time when somebody, withdrawn, that evening at 1:52 a.m. when the call came in, were you able to determine that it was Mr. Morales' cell phone 203-809-2849 that made that call?
Not that night.
Okay, so when the call comes in, I just want to make sure I understand. I think you told us if it was a landline phone call that came in, you'd be able to track the number back. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
Or to the location.
To the location?
Yes,
Sure,
yes.
yeah, wherever the landline is. But if it's a cell phone, the only information that the dispatcher would have back at 911 would be a cell tower location
Yes, or sometimes it will come up in an area too.
in an area, right?
Yes.
It's not tied to a specific location like a landline.
Correct.
Okay, great. So you had the call at 1:52 a.m. and that, do you have an enhanced 911 system with, fire, ambulance, and police at Ansonia back in 2019?
I don't remember if we had what we had, if it's been changed, so I don't remember when it got changed.
Yeah, the 911 systems are always always changing as the technology improves, but that's okay. So your dispatch, and I just want to go through this slow with you. You get the 911 call, and there's a separate line from the Ansonia PD at 203-735-1885 versus 911. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, but the first call that is the exhibit that we listened to, that was a 911 call, correct?
Yes.
And that's automatically recorded, is it not?
Yes.
Sure, okay. And just so we get this out of the way, that call, you're aware that the call that came in was enhanced, the audio was enhanced so we could hear it better?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And I know you didn't do that. You're right, you didn't do that, but it made it clearer for us and the jury to be able to go ahead and hear the call.
Yes.
Okay, great. So the call comes in at 1:52 a.m., and we heard the 3 times Myrtle, 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 right?
Yes.
Okay, and I know that that was your voice, the female voice on the call, responding to Myrtle, Myrtle, saying what number, what number, what number.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then I thought I heard you say that you continued to listen on the call for about 1 minute and 14 seconds. Is that correct?
I was on the call for 1 minute and 14, yes.
Great. And while you were on the call, not your voice, but did you hear a female voice on the call at that time as well?
Yes.
Okay. And you told us, I think you said, that the male caller that had called, in your words, was the voice was slurred.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us what you mean by that.
It wasn't clear, I would say. It was slurred.
Okay. I would think, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're assigned to dispatch on 911, you get all sorts of calls, correct?
Correct.
Right? You get people, there's an emergency and people are very excited, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you may have my dog ran out the back door, calm, cool, and collective calls.
Yes.
Right? And then sometimes you have calls of people that can be under the influence of alcohol or drugs as well, correct?
Yes.
Right? That sort of happens every day on shift, correct? It's not unusual.
I couldn't say every day, but yes, it happens.
Yeah. Okay. That's something in your career, and I don't know how long you continue to dispatch, but that is not an unusual event, correct?
Sure. Yes.
Sure, yeah, okay. So let's just go back to the call, just so we're clear. So the call comes in at 1:52, Myrtle, it speaks for itself. We're not going to go through the whole call. You want to know where on Myrtle you're calling from, is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, and you never got a response to the exact location on Myrtle Avenue from the caller, correct?
No, I did not.
Right, and you didn't know who was on the other end of the call?
No.
Okay, great. But you listened, continued to listen, and you heard a female voice on the call.
Yes.
Okay, and what did you hear the female voice say?
She mumbled something as it sounded like stop, Hang up, and who are you talking to?
Stop, hang up, who are you talking to? Okay.
Yes.
And just so we're clear, the female voice is obviously different than the male voice that called and said 911 Myrtle, Myrtle, Myrtle,
Yes, different.
right? Two different people.
Yes.
Okay, and then, so that call was about 1 minute and 14 seconds, and then my understanding is the call was terminated by the caller, is that correct?
Yes.
You didn't hang up on that?
No.
Okay, so now you have this call, you have two people, Myrtle, 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 you don't know what it's about, but it's a 911 call, so it could be a emergent situation, correct?
It could be, but I can't assume.
Right, you wouldn't know because you didn't have enough information based on the call,
Yes.
but it was on the 911 line.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so then it looks like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like from the Ansonia PD number 203-735-1885, there were 3 calls back to the number that you had received on the 911 line, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it looks like the call came in at 1:52. I'm not going to go into the seconds, okay? But it looks like Ansonia PD called back at 1:54, 1:54, and 1:56. Is that consistent with your recollection?
I can't tell the exact time. I'm not sure right now. I
Okay.
mean,
But as you
there's
said,
a lot of times right now.
5 years ago, okay? I'm with you. But you, as you sit here, and I know you're prepared to testify today, you recall that there were 3 calls that came back from the Ansonia PD to the number that had originally called the 203-809-2849 number.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then after you had completed the 3rd call, is that when you would have had and dispatched Officer Mark Clifford to Myrtle Avenue?
I dispatched him after the first 2 calls.
Okay, so you get the call in, call hangs up, you call back twice, and just tell me in your own words, that's when you would have dispatched Officer Clifford?
Yes.
Okay, and he was out on patrol.
Yes.
Okay, he's going to be here shortly, so it's okay. We'll ask him what he did. But 2 calls back, dispatch Clifford. Did you talk to him, Officer Clifford, when you dispatched him?
Yes.
Okay, and just tell me how that works. How is it? Is it by the computer that you dispatch the patrol vehicle, or do you call him on his cell phone and dispatch him?
Usually it's over the radio, the air, the.
There you go, over the radio. So the dispatcher would say to an officer that's out on patrol, we got a call on Myrtle Avenue, could you go check it out?
Yes.
Right, okay, and you did that in basic terms in this case?
Yes.
Okay, and then did you have a conversation with Officer Clifford when you dispatched him?
I provided him as a dispatcher, you provide the information you have to them.
Over the radio?
Over the radio, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's great. And then he went in, did whatever he did. We'll talk to him in a second. And then I think you said you called back the 3rd time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that was at 1:56. So it's call back, dispatch, call back.
Correct.
Correct? Okay. And then there was another call from the Morales cell phone, 203-809-2849 at 1:59 to 735-1885. Now, that's not the 911 line. That's the main line, okay? The Morales cell phone called back to the Ansonia PD. Did you take that call?
No.
Okay. And then it looks like what happened was then there was your 4th call back to the cell phone, and that looks like at 2:03 in the morning, Ansonia calls back. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. So we're just about done. I appreciate so you get the dispatch, you get the call in on 911, you call back 1 time, 2 times, dispatch the officer, call back 3 times, and then there was a 4th call back to the cell phone number.
I remember 3.
Okay, all right. So as you sit here right now, are you aware of the fact that APD called back at 2:03:55 to the cell phone number?
I know at 2:03.
Okay, at 2:03?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for your time. I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Officer Tracer, first of all, when Attorney Gavin was asking you about types of phone calls you receive, I think this scenario went something along the lines of some people can be excited when they call, some people, the dog ran out the back door, they can be calm, and then he asked you about some people can call, they're on drugs and alcohol. Do you remember that question?
Yes.
Obviously, suggesting to you that slurring on the phone call is a result of drugs and alcohol. Clearly, that was the reason for asking that question.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
With regard to, do you have, when you hear a person slurring,
The question was sustained, counsel. Start your question over.
Sure, I am.
Thank you.
When you hear somebody calling in on the line and you hear a voice that you said sounded slurred, do you have any basis to know what is causing, first of all, whether that's even a slur, if it's a natural speech pattern of somebody, do you have any basis of knowledge of knowing why you're hearing what you're hearing?
No.
Can drugs and alcohol create a slur for someone on the phone?
Yes.
Can a medical emergency, such as a person having a stroke or a diabetic emergency or an altered level of consciousness, cause a slur type communication?
Yes.
Have you received calls like those before?
Yes.
Did I hear you mention on the tape as well to whoever was in the dispatch center your impression that you felt that there was a language difficulty with this caller?
Yes.
Do you recall what you said on the tape?
Somewhere along the lines of, I don't think they speak English.
So did you, at least, is that reflective of your mind that you believe that there could be a language difficulty?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Hold on a moment.
I didn't hear anything on the tape about language difficulties. I'm not sure if he's referring to the exhibit in the 911 call.
I'm happy to cue it up.
Okay, so Attorney Gavin, I'm going to overrule your objection at this point in time because it deals with an exhibit that's full and it was acknowledged by the witness. So we'll play it again.
I appreciate that.
So would this comment come after the speaker stops speaking and when you are listening to what's occurring in the background?
Yes.
And do you speak with another officer?
Yes.
Did you hear your voice?
Yes.
Did you say, I don't think they speak English?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have nothing further.
Attorney Gavin.
Just one question. I did not hear that at the end of the call the first time, but I just heard it right now. So That was your voice in the dispatch center speaking to another officer, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, you weren't directing those comments to the people on the phone call, it was whoever your colleague was.
Yes.
Thank you. No other questions?
I have nothing further.
Thank you.
No other questions.
Thank you. You may step down. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Pete.
May I see counsel at sidebar, please?
Try to get Butch to- Clifford.
All right, the state would like to call their next witness, please.
Okay.
Yeah, back it's- tell him, can you keep it tight?
The state could formally call the witness to the stand.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, it's just Officer Mark Clark.
All right, thank you so much. If you would please pay.
I'm sorry, Clifford.
Clifford?
I'm not multitasking well.
All right. Please pay your attention to Madam Clerk. She's going to put you under oath, Madam Clerk.
Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, and state your badge number for the record, please.
Mark Clifford. Last name is Clifford. Badge number is 53.
Okay, thank you.
You may be seated. Thank you.
Good morning, Officer Clifford.
Good morning.
Can you tell us, first of all, who are you employed by?
I'm employed by the Ansonia Police Department
How long have you been a member of the Ansonia Police Department?
since 2012.
And can you tell us a little bit about your background, your training, and your experience?
Yes, I graduated from the Police Academy in 2012. While on patrol, I was a field training officer where I trained other officers when they were hired. And since then, I have been promoted to the position of detective.
I want to call your attention to the time frame of December of 2019, where you were employed by the City of Ansonia Police Department in December of 2019.
I was.
I want to call your attention specifically to the shift that would have started on November 30th of 2019 into December 1st of 2019. Were you working that shift?
I was.
And what time would you have started on November 30th?
That would have been 11 p.m. at night.
And then, so is that considered third shift or overnight shift?
Correct.
And so would have this been a Saturday into a Sunday?
Yes.
Now, I want to call your attention to approximately 2 a.m. early Sunday morning, December the 1st of 2019. Were you working at that time?
Yes, I was.
And do you recall, what was your assignment that evening?
My assignment was the patrol east side sector.
Would that include the area in and around Myrtle Avenue in the city of Ansonia?
Yes, it would have.
And shortly before 2 a.m., do you recall where you were?
Yes,
And where were you?
I was on Main Street.
And where is Main Street in proximity to Myrtle Ave?
It is approximately, I'd say about a half mile west of Myrtle Avenue.
And when you received, did you receive a dispatch in and around 2 a.m.?
Yes, I did.
And what was the nature of the dispatch?
It was a 911 hang-up.
And what steps did you take once you received that dispatch?
Once I received that dispatch, I then proceeded to the area of Myrtle Avenue.
Can you pull forward to that mic a little bit?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Once I was dispatched, I proceeded to the area of Myrtle Avenue.
Did it take you very long to get there?
No, maybe a minute or so.
And when you got into the area of Myrtle Ave, can you just generally describe the overall nature, or let's say length of Myrtle Avenue?
It's approximately a half-mile long.
No objection. Your Honor, I've seen Exhibit 164. I have no objection.
All right, court will accept into evidence as full states number 164. Thank you.
Once again, on 164, which is up on the screen here, if I trace with this highlighter from the left side of the photograph down and along this roadway, working from left to right, is this Myrtle Avenue?
Yes, it is.
And is it fair to say that on the right side of the photograph, Myrtle Avenue is a dead end?
Yes, it is.
And then on the left side of Myrtle Ave, it dead ends into Judson Place.
Correct.
Now, when you arrived in the vicinity of Myrtle Ave, where was the first point that you picked up Myrtle Ave?
The first time I pulled onto it, it was at the intersection of Judson Place and Myrtle.
So now, going to the left side of the photograph, there is a red dot here. Do you know, would that be in the area of 6.5 Myrtle Street, what this red dot is depicting?
Yes, it appears to be.
Are you generally familiar with the roads in and around the east sector of your patrol assignment?
Yes, I am.
So again, where my highlighter is with the red dot in the left-hand portion of the exhibit, is this a section of Myrtle Avenue here?
Yes, it is.
Is this Judson Place here?
Yes.
Is this West Street here?
Yes.
And is this Cottage Avenue here?
Yes, it is.
So effectively, are you familiar with the location from your patrol assignment of 6.5 Myrtle?
Yes, I am.
So does it generally sit in this rectangular boundary, Judson, Myrtle, West, and Cottage?
Yes.
The driveway to 6.5 Myrtle, are you familiar with where that's located?
Yes, I am.
And where is it?
That is on the Cottage Avenue side, closest to West Street.
So back here, is this how someone would enter into the driveway of 6.5 Myrtle, where my highlighter is moving towards the red dot from Cottage Ave?
Yes.
So now, when you arrived, you said you started at Judson and Myrtle Avenue. So that would just be to the left of 6.5 Myrtle. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when you arrived there, can you tell us what you did?
Yes. When I arrived on scene, I already had my cruise lights activated, which are stationary red and blue lights that stay on. Once I got onto the street, I rolled my windows down. I activated my takedown lights and side alley lights, which illuminate the area much better.
Okay. So first of all, I need you to keep your voice up, okay?
Okay.
Really project out for us, all right?
Okay.
But if I'm understanding you, so when you got to the corner of Judson and Myrtle Avenue, first of all, are you in a marked Ansonia police car?
Yes, I am.
Does this marked Ansonia police car have a light bar on it?
Yes, it does.
You mentioned something called cruise lights. Can you tell us again, what are cruise lights?
They are red and blue lights that can be stationary, or if activated in an emergency, they can glow, or they can
Flash. or
flash.
illuminate?
Correct, yes.
All right. So are there times that police officers just on routine patrol keep their cruise lights on?
Yes, there are.
And why do you do that?
I do that because it makes you more visible to the public that you're in a police vehicle.
So now, your red and blue cruise lights are on already as you arrive at call.
Yes.
And now as you get onto Myrtle, you did what with your windows?
I rolled them down.
One window?
Both windows, in the front and passenger side.
Okay. So there are 4 windows in this car?
Yes.
All 4 came down?
Just the front two.
The front 2 windows. And when you mentioned something also, takedown lights. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen what takedown lights are?
Yes, those are lights that we can activate if it's dark out, and it illuminates the area much better than headlights would.
So where are the takedown lights located?
The takedown lights are located facing the front of the vehicle.
Are they on the light bar?
Yes, they are.
Are there any takedown lights on the back side of the light bar?
I do not know.
Okay. You indicated something as well, something called alley lights or alley markers.
Correct, alley lights.
What are those?
Those are the same type of lights. They're located on the side of the vehicle, side of the light bar, and those illuminate the side, passenger and driver's side of the police cruiser.
And again, are they used to assist law enforcement officers when they're out of the car to illuminate areas where they're working while it's dark?
Yes,
Would you say they're bright?
very bright.
So now, if I'm understanding you correctly, you've got red and blue lights on, you've got at least your car headlights are on, you've got your front takedown lights on, and you've got your alleyway marker lights on, all on the light bar in a marked Ansonia police car. Have I understood that correctly?
That is correct.
And you have your windows down.
Correct.
What do you do when you arrive at Judson and Myrtle?
I informed the dispatcher that I arrived on the scene.
And from there, what happened next?
I then proceeded to drive slowly down the street.
So now, as you're driving slowly down the street, you are almost immediately in the vicinity of 6.5 Myrtle.
Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you continued that slow crawl all the way down Myrtle Avenue?
Yes, I do.
From one end to the other?
Yes.
So from one end to the other, you reached the opposite side?
Yes.
And when you reached the opposite side, what did you do?
I then turned around and proceeded back.
The very same methodology?
Yes.
Did you go all the way back to Judson Place?
Just about.
When you say just about, where did you go?
Instead of going all the way down to Judson, I made a left-hand turn onto West Street.
That's this street here.
Yes.
Does 6.5 Myrtle Avenue sit on the corner of Myrtle and West Street?
Yes, it does.
So now, as you're turning on, which way? So you would have turned left on West Street.
Yes, that's correct.
When you turned left, would the back side of 6.5 Myrtle be visible to you while you're in your car?
Yes, it would have.
This is December of 2019. Would it be fair to say there were no leaves on the trees in December of 2019?
I did not see any leaves on the trees.
Did you have the ability with the takedown lights and your alleyway light lighting up the right side of the car to see into the driveway and backyard area of 6.5 Myrtle?
Yes, I could.
From the moment you arrived on the corner of Judson and Myrtle Avenue, all the way down, all the way back, took you about 2 minutes or so?
Yes, that's correct.
Showing you what has been previously marked as states 163. I think you said the street was about a half mile in total length.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that dispatch shows you arriving on scene at 2:02 a.m. and clearing the call at 2:04 a.m.?
Yes.
Does that sound about right to you?
Yes.
During that whole trip from Judson, past 6.5, up to the end of Myrtle, back, left on West, visibility into the backside of 6.5, did you see any persons out on the road that day?
No, I did not.
Did any cars pass you on Myrtle Avenue at 2 o'clock in the morning on that early Sunday morning?
No.
Did you see any activity at all?
No.
Did you hear anything at all?
No, I did not.
Did anybody come out and say, I need assistance?
No.
Your car was lit up like a Christmas tree, right?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Attorney Gavin.
Hi, officer.
Hello.
Could you read me on that, please? How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Okay, just a few questions for you.
Yes.
Thanks. Who dispatched you?
That was Officer Tracer. She was working dispatch.
Did you just see her?
Yes.
Yeah, she just left.
Yes.
Right? Okay, great. Officer, can I use the Elmo?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Mestry? Your Honor, I'm going to use Exhibit 164.
right,
This is the map.
Thank you.
Put that up there, Pete. Thank you. We'll start over here. Okay. Third shift, you come to work on Saturday, the 30th at 11 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
You get in your patrol car and you're assigned a sector, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then you go out on patrol, correct?
Yes.
Right, you weren't a detective at that point, you were a patrol officer, is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, so you're out on patrol, the shift starts at 11 o'clock, and when was it that you were contacted by dispatch approximately?
That was approximately 2 a.m.
About 2 a.m., okay. And dispatch, did they indicate to you that they had received a 911 call from Myrtle Avenue?
They said that they received a 911 call
They received a 911 call.
and that the individual stated Myrtle Avenue.
Great, okay. And that was Officer Tracer that just left, told you that?
Over the radio, yes.
Yeah, over the radio. I know you weren't with her. Right, she was back at the police station, right?
Yes.
Okay, right, you're out on patrol. And you said you were in the area of Main Street in Ansonia at the time that you received the radio dispatch?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so, and you knew where Myrtle Avenue was, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, you had been there before, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you traveled from Main Street over to Myrtle Avenue. And, Your Honor, can I just grab my copy of the map? Because
Sure.
Peter, if you could just zoom in at the start. There, please.
He's gonna.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, if I understand correctly, you would have went down Cottage Street. Is that correct? This is in the beginning. I just want to take you right from Main Street, not confuse anything. You went over to the area of Myrtle Avenue. Would you have come down Cottage Street, sir?
I believe I went where Cottage and so it would be a little further north of where this map is. So it'd be like Cottage and South Cliff.
Let me fix that.
Okay.
Do you recall going on Judson Place?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Okay.
So you made the turn onto Judson Place, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and as you went up on Judson Place, then it intersected with the beginning of Myrtle Avenue, correct?
Yes.
And that's in the area where 6.5 Myrtle is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, and you indicated, I believe on direct, all right, Peter, can we just, yep, we have that zoomed in. So you went on Judson Place, and then you made the right-hand turn on Myrtle, and you passed 6.5 Myrtle, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then the next intersection was West Street, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then you would have continued on Myrtle, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and Myrtle, that's a residential area, is it not?
Yes.
Houses on both sides of the street, there's commercial establishments as well, correct?
Yes.
Right, you know, like Santini's Pizza is there, for example, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
You're familiar with where that is, right? Okay. Now, Peter, if you could just slide that along. So you went along, right there's good, okay? You went along Myrtle, and Myrtle has a bunch of intersections with neighboring streets, correct?
Yes.
Okay? And I think you told us that you traveled along, you would have passed what's marked as Santini's Pizza, correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's great, Pete, all the way down Myrtle, correct? Correct?
Yes.
Following Mr. Mestry's pen, yeah. And then Myrtle Avenue sort of turns up to the left.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Peter, doing fine, just continue along on Myrtle. And then it looks like it intersects with Hunter's Lane.
Yes.
Okay. And then it goes up the hill at that point, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it goes all the way up into an area, and it eventually becomes a dirt road, does it not?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so how long approximately, I know you didn't have your stopwatch out, I get it. How long did it take approximately from the time that you turned on Judson Place on the beginning of Myrtle all the way up to where the dirt road is?
I would say that took probably about a minute and a half.
Yep, okay, that's fine. And you said you didn't see any traffic and you didn't see anyone that flagged you down at that point, correct?
Right.
Great, okay. And then did you turn around up where the dirt road is at the end of Myrtle Ave?
Yes, I did.
Sure, okay. And you didn't change anything with the lights or anything in the patrol car, correct?
No.
You just basically turned around and came back out of the wooded area, correct?
Yes.
All the way at the top, and you came back down the hill, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, Peter, continue, please. And then you went back into the residential neighborhood, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And you continued down through the residential area. Let's start right here, Pete, okay? And you hit the side streets like we see in the diagram here, Beaver Street and then Garden Street, right? You would have passed all of those?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And you weren't driving that fast, I take it?
No.
No, okay. And I assume because you were dispatched that you're looking around to see if there's anything called to your attention?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then you pass Santini's Pizza Palace, and then you're heading back to the area of 6.5 Myrtle.
Yes.
And at the time that you were dispatched here on December 1st, 2019, 6.5 Myrtle didn't mean anything to you because you it wasn't identified as a location of interest by dispatch.
That's correct.
It was just Myrtle Avenue.
Correct.
All of those houses and all of those businesses that are on Myrtle Avenue. That's what you were directed to go ahead and patrol.
Yes.
Great. So now you come back. And you hit the intersection of West Street. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I think you told us you made the left on West. Okay. And then you went down to Cottage. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So from the very beginning, when you turn, that's great. When you turn onto Judson Place, and you made the right-hand turn on Myrtle, and 6.5 was right there. It's located on the grid marking, the designation there. And then you went past 6.5 to West, and then all the way down. You were only in front of the area 6.5 Myrtle for a matter of seconds. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then when you came back, sir, you went all the way to the end, dead end, you turned around, came back, and went on West Street. You never circled back and went the area 6.5 Myrtle, the front of 6.5.
Correct.
Okay. And when you came down West Street and it hit Cottage, you didn't go up the driveway, the backside of 6.5 Myrtle, did you?
No, I did not.
And then, is that when you would have cleared the call with dispatch?
Yes.
Okay. And just tell us what cleared the call means.
That means I informed the dispatcher that I found nothing in the area and that I'm clear for the next call.
Okay. So, did you go back to the Main Street area?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's a busier area than up in the residential area of Myrtle and Cottage and Judson.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Thanks for your time. I have no other questions.
Mr. Clifford, when you first arrived on Myrtle and Judson, you put down your windows, right?
Yes, I did.
Why did you do that?
Because I'd be able to hear if anything was, if anyone needed any assistance better.
When in a quiet residential neighborhood, when you're in your car, aside from your patrol radio, are there any other radios, music, anything else playing in there?
At the time, no, I did not have anything else playing.
And based on your experience of patrolling this neighborhood, others like it, at 2 o'clock in the morning, from within your patrol car with windows down in December, if you heard screaming or yelling, is that something you believe you would hear from within your patrol car?
Objection,
Yes.
Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
Sustained.
It's based on his experience, Your Honor, as opposed to why he puts his windows down.
Whether or not he would hear screaming or yelling calls for speculation. You can ask him if he's had past experience, counsel, but in general, it calls for speculation. Sustained.
Have you, when you put your windows down in your car, you're doing so to enable what?
To hear better.
Okay. Have you been in your car in the past and with your windows down on a similar type of situation, have you been able to detect screaming, yelling, or other types of altercations occurring?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Overruled.
Yes, I have.
Is that the basis for you putting your windows down?
Yes, it was.
Now, when you, I believe on direct, you said this total street length from up the hill, as Attorney Gavin says, and back down, I think your testimony was it's only a half mile.
Yes.
Right. So that's a half mile one way and a half mile back. It's not a very great distance, is it?
No, it's not.
So when Attorney Gavin was asking you about all the side streets that you're passing, or does anything have to do with the amount of time it took you to go from one end, turn around, and come back to the other end?
Objection to the form of the question.
Overruled.
No.
And during that half mile one way and half mile back the other way, did you hear any screaming or disputes or yelling or anything that indicated there was a problem when you were on that call?
No, I did not.
The only
Overruled.
relevance is 6.5 Myrtle, which he was by for a couple of seconds.
Overruled.
When you made the left-hand turn on West Street, was it your testimony earlier that Myrtle, 6 Myrtle, sits on the corner of West and Judson. I'm sorry, West and Myrtle.
Yes.
And were you able to see into the back side of that property?
Yes.
Did you have your window open in the right side of your car?
Yes, I did.
So now, what would have been about 2 minutes by your dispatch ticket, you went by it, traveled up, came back, you cleared the call in 2 minutes. So you left it the first time and were in proximity to it the second time within 2 minutes. Did you hear any noise through your right window, anybody yelling, any sound like any kinds of break-ins, screaming, fighting, anything with regard to when you turned left from Myrtle onto West?
Objection to the form of the question. He's now testifying. It's been asked and answered, Your Honor.
Overruled. You can answer the question.
Do you need me to repeat the question?
Please.
When you made the left-hand turn from Myrtle onto West with 6.5 on your right side and your window down, did you hear any sounds of any fighting, yelling, screaming, break-ins, anything that would indicate that there is a problem coming from 6.5 Myrtle, which is just to your right side?
No, I did not.
I have nothing further.
Officer, if you had heard screaming, yelling, or commotion in the area of 6.5 Myrtle, you would have stopped the car, correct?
Yes,
And you didn't do that, correct?
that's correct.
Can you just look at the map? When you turned, when you came back, right, you went to the end of Myrtle and you came back, and you turned on West Street. You didn't pass the front of 6.5 Myrtle, right?
That's correct.
And you went down to Cottage.
Yes,
That just took a couple of seconds. Is that correct?
that's correct.
No other questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
I have nothing, Your Honor.
All right, you're all set. You may step down. We're going to take our 15-minute break. Court stands in recess.
All rise. Court's in recess.
Before to make that alternate juror a regular juror in this case. However, before we do that, I just want to advise you that you should not speculate as to why that regular juror is no longer with us, okay? All right, so Madam Clerk, if you could please ask the appropriate All right, counsel, we are all set to continue.
Yes,
I'll ask
Your
the
Honor.
state to please call its next witness then.
Stipulate to the presence of the jury, Your Honor.
All right,
As well as the state, Your
Thank
Honor. Patrick Raleigh.
hi there. Please enter the stand, remain standing, and face Madam Clerk. Thank you. Over here, she's going to put you to, that's okay.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God or upon penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Please state your full name, spell your last name, and state your address for the record, please.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Raleigh. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. I'd like to just start off and ask you, in December of 2019, did you have some type of a connection to Myrtle Avenue in the city of Ansonia?
Yes.
And what was that connection?
My aunt lives there.
And where does she live?
6 Myrtle Ave.
And had you been to 6 Myrtle Avenue at times prior to this?
Yes.
Are you familiar with a house next door with the number 6.5 Myrtle Avenue?
Yes.
Now, can you find me the exhibit number for the side view of Myrtle Avenue of the house? It would be early on. Now, with regard to, I wanted to call your attention to December the 1st of 2019. It was a Sunday. Do you recall whether you were on Myrtle Avenue on that date?
Yes, I was.
And were you with anyone else?
I was with my wife.
And what was the reason for being on Myrtle Avenue on December 1st of 2019?
I was going to move a freezer for my aunt.
Okay. And that was your aunt at 6 Myrtle Avenue?
Yes.
And do you recall approximately what time you arrived in the area?
I believe it was around 2 o'clock.
And do you know approximately what time you left the area?
Around 2:30, 2:45.
Now, when you were leaving the area at around 2:45, can you tell me whether you, when you left Myrtle Ave, when you left 6 Myrtle Avenue, where was your car parked?
In her driveway.
Okay. And did you walk to your car?
Yes.
And when you walked to your car, did you make any observations?
Yes.
What observation did you make?
So when we left out the back of her house, and you walk up her driveway, and as soon as you walk out the back, there's a red house next door, and there was a man standing in the corner.
Okay. And I'm sorry, where did you see him standing?
In the corner of the house by the garage.
Okay. And 1 second, Your Honor.
Sure.
It's an external picture. It's gonna be the first one. That's it. Showing you what has previously been introduced as State Exhibit 6. And not offering it to you for the snow or any of that, but generally, does this appear to be the building that you're referencing?
Yes.
And can you just, with using your words, tell me where you saw the individual standing?
Yeah, looking at the picture, it's in the right-hand corner.
There's a door here, a window, and a door. Can you just,
To the right of the door.
which door?
The door on the right-hand side, not the, yep,
This door?
yep,
So somewhere over here?
yep.
And the record reflects, Your Honor, at least in State's Exhibit 6, there is a door with a dark window towards the back part of the picture, and my highlighter is just showing to the right of that door.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raleigh. And with regard to the observation that you made, can you tell us why your attention was called to that person standing there?
It was a very windy, cold day, and I think it was snowing or raining, and it was just odd that someone was standing there on his cell phone. It just didn't seem right.
Did you make any observations about the person's clothing?
I was just wearing a hoodie.
And at that time, is that the reason why you took notice of the person?
Yes.
Had you ever seen that person before?
No.
Did you, with regard to at least that moment in time, did you take any further action with regard to that individual?
No.
Did you climb in your car?
Yeah.
And what happened after that?
We went home.
All right. At some point in time, did you become aware of an incident that occurred on Myrtle Avenue the weekend that you had visited?
Yes.
And did you take any steps to contact the Ansonia Police Department?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I just called and told them what I saw.
Did they ask you to come to the Ansonia Police Department?
No, they actually came to me, I believe.
Okay. And when they came to you, did they ask you to do anything?
Yeah, they asked me to give a statement and then look at some photos.
Okay. Can you describe the process for us as the photos that you looked at?
Yeah, they just gave me individual photos one by one, and then once I went through them, I identified somebody and marked my photo.
Okay. As part of that process, no, just continue. 165 is full, Your Honor, with no objection from the defense.
No objection, please, Your Honor.
Thank you for making the record. Court accepts 165 and is full.
Showing you what has now been marked as States 165, Mr. Raleigh, first of all, with regard to these documents, do you generally recognize, let's start with this page.
Yes.
And does this appear to be a document that was shown to you by the Ansonia Police Department?
Yes.
And does it state witness instructions regarding identification procedures?
Yep.
And that it occurred on December the 4th of 2019 at your home on Myrtle Avenue?
Yes.
And did they ask you to read all of the instructions contained on this form before looking at the photographs?
Yes.
Then I think you indicated that you looked at each of the photographs. They gave them to you all at once or one at a time?
One at a time.
And after you went through the series of photographs the first time, did you go through it a second time or any additional time?
I'm not sure.
Okay. After going through and seeing all the photographs, did you tell them that you believed that you were able to identify one of the individuals?
Yes.
Showing you what has been, what is the third page, and I'm sorry, Your Honor, States 165 is a stapled 3-page document.
Thank you.
Showing you the third page of that document, is this the photograph that you stopped on?
Yes.
And what did you indicate to the Ansonia Police Department about this photo?
That's the man I saw standing in the corner of the garage.
Talking on the cell phone?
Yes.
And ultimately, did they ask you to place your name on this photograph?
Yes.
Do you see your signature there?
Yes.
And likewise, was it dated with this acknowledgement, with your acknowledgement that the photo contains the suspect?
Yes.
Did they then ask you, back on page 2 of this document, to sign this acknowledgement and statement with regard to the identification?
Yes.
The document says, I, Patrick Raleigh, acknowledge the above instructions have been read to me by Detective Esposito, and I fully understand the instructions. I have viewed the photos and have identified number 7, and then under witness comments regarding identification, handwritten, saw man in photo on cell phone, stand in back right side, 90% sure on the photo. Is that what you told the police?
Yes.
Whose handwriting is that, do you know?
That's mine.
And did you subsequently then sign and print your name to this document?
Yes, I did.
Now, I realize it's 5.5 years since this time frame, Mr. Raleigh, but as you look around the courtroom today, do you see the person that you saw on December the 1st of 2019 at approximately, I'm sorry, what time did you say it was approximately?
About 2:45, 2:30, 2:45.
Do you see that person presently here in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And would you please point to where you see them person seated and to describe what you see that person wearing.
Yep. Sitting over there, he's wearing a gray shirt, gray checkered shirt, gray and black.
And the record reflect that by pointing as well as by clothing description, he's identified the defendant, in this case, Jose Morales.
The record shall so reflect. Thank you.
I have nothing further.
Can I have those, please? Yeah, both of them. Yeah, thanks. Hi, Ms. Raleigh, how are you?
How you doing?
Let's put the picture up first. Your Honor, may I approach the witness and the OMO, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for being here. So it's about almost 5.5 years ago since you had interaction with Detective Esposito. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. So I want to make sure I'm going through your testimony accurately, and you correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
On Sunday, December 1st, in the area of around 2 o'clock, you went over to Denise Hunt's house. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yep.
And tell the jury who Denise Hunt is.
She's my aunt.
Right? And she lives at 6 Myrtle Avenue.
Yes.
Correct? And you had been to your aunt's house previously, correct? Mm-hmm. And you were with, I think it was your girlfriend at that point.
Yes.
Kristen Stahl, correct?
Caitlin.
Caitlin, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
that's okay.
Caitlin. My bad. Caitlin, and now she's your bride.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And you were there to move a freezer, is that what you told
Yep.
us?
Yep.
Okay. And you weren't really there that long, is that correct?
No.
No? Okay. Your aunt lives up on the second floor, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you know who George O'Meara is?
Yes, I do.
Where does he live?
He lives on the first floor.
Okay, right? And 6 Myrtle and 6.5 Myrtle are adjoining properties, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, right. And so you got there at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And forgive me, I know one of the photographs has snow. Was it snowing, raining, windy?
It was doing. I can't remember, but there was something. It was.
Okay.
That's why it made stand out. Someone was standing outside in the back. It was
Okay.
very odd.
I don't want you, if you're not sure, just let me know whether it was snowing or raining, but you're not sure at
Yeah.
that point.
Yep.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that I think you said that you were upstairs moving the freezer, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how long did it take to go ahead and do that?
About 20 minutes, half hour.
Okay, great. And were you swapping out a freezer? Or?
No, it was on. I believe it was in the garage, and we just moved it up to her upstairs.
You carried it?
Yeah, me and my cousin.
Oh, there was somebody else there. Who else was there?
I believe my cousin,
What's your cousin's name?
Jeffrey
Jeffrey what?
Hunt.
I'm sorry.
Hunt.
Hunt. Okay. Wouldn't have been nice for your aunt to have you just alone carry the freezer from the garage up to the
No,
second floor,
no.
right? Okay. And how old is Jeffrey Hunt?
He's deceased. He's deceased.
He's deceased.
Yes.
Okay. And 5 years ago, approximately how old?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I mean, was he a teenager? Or
No,
was he
30s.
in his 30s?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. And I'm sorry. I apologize. You said he's deceased.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. So you're at your aunt's. You have your future bride with you. You have your cousin with you. You go to the garage and you move this freezer up to the second floor, right?
Yep.
Okay. And that took a half hour or 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And did you have to do anything else in the
No.
apartment that day?
No.
No? Okay. Mr. Mestry, could you show us, I think it's marked as Exhibit 6. Can you see that on the monitor in
Yes.
front of you? Okay, great. So what we know, and I just want to be clear with you, that Exhibit 6, we're not claiming any of that snow was there. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the following day it snowed. So you said that you entered or exited, excuse me, let me start over. I think you testified that you left 6 Myrtle through the back, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
And then you came around on the driveway that would have went down to Myrtle Avenue.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The driveway sits parallel from this picture. You can see the car, where the car is in this picture. That's our driveway.
Okay, good. That's the sort of end in the bottom right-hand quadrant of Exhibit 6 is a car that would have been located
Yeah,
in the
that's
driveway.
where my aunt's driveway is.
Okay, great. And is that where you parked?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, okay, all right, we're doing fine. So you came around the back of 6 Myrtle towards the driveway. You would have got in your car in the driveway to back down to Myrtle Avenue. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I was back in when I parked, so I just would have pulled out. But yeah.
Okay, all right. So you backed in originally, and then you would have
Yes.
pulled out.
Yep.
Okay. Now let me just go slow here. When the three of you left your aunt's house,
Just me and my wife left.
okay, and Jeffrey Hunt stayed with
Yeah,
your
he
aunt.
lived there.
He lived there with your
Yes.
aunt. Okay, gotcha. All right. So, but he came there with you,
No.
or was he there already?
Yeah, he lives there.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know, I don't know this. So when you and your bride-to-be arrived, he was already on site? Because
Yes.
he lived there?
Yes.
With your aunt that
Yes.
lived upstairs on the second floor?
Yes.
We're good?
Yes.
Okay, all right, great. So you and Caitlin went ahead and left after a half hour, 45 minutes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great. And you come down the driveway, and you looked over to the area 6.5 Myrtle. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, it's when you come out of her backyard, it's right there. You
Oh.
come out of the gate and you're looking straight and you see that back corner.
Okay, great. And are you familiar with that property at all?
Yes.
Okay, you know there's a 3-car garage
Yes.
underneath the apartment?
Yes.
Yeah. The monitor has to take it down, so just let me finish the question before you answer.
Okay.
I know you know the answer already. It's very difficult when we both speak at the same time.
Okay.
Thank you. And you're doing fine. Okay, so you leave, you're familiar with the property, you know there's a 3-car garage underneath 6.5 Myrtle Avenue, correct?
Yes.
All right. And then I think you told the attorney Stein that on the side of the property, there is a door, then a window, then another door. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you saw an individual over by the second door closest to the garage at the back of the house. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And you told Attorney Stein, correct me if I'm wrong, you had never seen that individual before,
No.
right? How often back in 2019 did you visit your aunt's house?
I don't know. It depends. I do a lot of work at her house for her.
Okay. All right. So you were there on a regular basis?
I would say a regular basis is just if she needs something done, she calls me. I'm the go-to in the family.
Oh, okay. It's good to have a go-to.
That's right.
Okay. So, I mean, would you see your aunt once a month, once a year?
Once a month, I would say is a good average.
Okay. Just an estimate, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you saw the individual at 6.5 Myrtle in the back, you told us you had never seen that individual before. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you didn't go down and approach and say, hey, hi, what are you doing here, or introduce yourself? No. There was no contact whatsoever between you and that individual?
No.
And what did you observe that individual doing?
He was on his cell phone.
Okay, all right. And then you got in the car?
Yep.
Okay, and Caitlin got in the car?
Yep.
So just tell us, when you came out the back of 6 Myrtle, you turned down the driveway, you looked over into the adjoining yard, you saw that person, how long did you look at them?
The time it takes you to, I opened the gate, held it for my wife, and then walked up the driveway. So 5-10 seconds.
Okay, and when you looked over across, did you just glance across for a second or two?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, okay, and then you got in the car and didn't think anything of it?
No, I said to my wife, like, that was strange. Why was he standing there?
Okay, that somebody was there because you
Yeah.
didn't know who they were?
No.
You didn't know who the neighbors were?
Nope.
Okay, all right. And it didn't get to the point that you thought it was important, for example, to go confront the individual?
No.
Right? And, you certainly didn't go ahead and call the police and say, hey, there's something strange going on next door?
Nope.
No, you just went about your business?
Yep.
Checked off the moving the freezer chore,
Yep.
correct? Okay. So you only saw the individual for a very brief period of time? Yeah?
Yep.
Correct? Okay, got in the car. Now, Peter, we're all done with that. Could you, Peter, could you put the next exhibit? That was Exhibit 6, Your Honor, for purposes of the record.
Thank you.
And Peter, what number is that?
165.
165, Your Honor. We're going to refer to Exhibit 165.
All right.
Okay, Peter, could you put the front page, the first page on there for me? Can you see that okay?
Yes, I can.